someone who performs or expects to perform at their highest on a day-to-day basis and run multiple different businesses, coaching programs, servicing clients and stuff like that. I've just learned over the last couple of years that outside of just what you do on a day-to-day basis of running the business, there's also things you have to do outside of the business to where like you can play your best game every day. I've always made this example before and I'll say it again. I've always liked to look at myself almost like a professional athlete in that sense. If you look at a lot of professional athletes, like, for me, I always like to look at like football players and boxers and stuff like that. They always use everything they can to like, just gain that slight 1 or 2% edge on the field and everything. And what I like to think about here is the exact things I do outside of the office on a day-to-day basis to where I can perform at 100% every day. So this is what I would like to call my like biohacking routine, in the sense of, what I do on a day-to-day basis outside of the office to, just stay full of energy, stay focused, be able to have consistent energy every day. Whereas a lot of you guys are just like, hopping in day to day, still drunk, lousy, lazy, full of brain fog and stuff. And I've learned I can actually work less at a higher, more optimal level versus say work longer but like half drunk all day. So this is what I would say my 7-figure biohacking routine of what I use on a day-to-day basis to increase performance inside of the office. And where does everything start off first? In the bedroom. So we're going to dive right into my bedroom first of what I do first off just to get a good quality night of sleep. All right, so now that we're made it to the bedroom and everything, again, where all the magic happens, where it all starts at, we're left here with an absolutely amazing mattress. We got the, it's not a Sleep Number, it's the other like really nice mattress. I really couldn't tell y'all what it is, but it's the like $4,000 or $5,000 mattress. I was like, for years, still sleeping on a mattress that was like 10 or 12 years old, $300-400. And just by literally upgrading my mattress, saw a huge leap in terms of sleep quality and, my depth of sleep and stuff like that. So, for all of y'all who are watching this video, if you have the financial means, go spend the money and get yourself a nice mattress. It's a serious investment. Top of the mattress, we got the weighted blanket. This is also another huge cheat code right here. I think this is a 15-pound weighted blanket. I'm roughly 160, 170. I kind of fluctuate between that. Typically you want to find a weighted blanket roughly 10% of your body weight within that range right there. And then the pillows, they're just like your average soft pillows, nothing crazy with that. But the reason why I start off with the bed is because, number one, if you want to perform better on a day-to-day basis, you need to first recharge better on a day-to-day basis. Currently right now I'm going through a heavy workload, so we're only roughly sleeping about 6 hours a night, and my recovery score on 6 hours of night of sleep is better than some nights of 8 to 9 hours of sleep because I make the most of those 6 hours right there. So bed, ice, get that set up first. And then the next key thing you'll notice in this room is that we have the blackout curtains. And when I do sleep out the blackout curtains, I also close my door. It's pitch black in here. Huge way to level up your sleep is get it as black in the room as possible. This will allow you also to stay in a deeper sleep versus having like little lights kind of throughout your room or a lot of like light coming in from the window and stuff. I also noticed a huge impact on my sleep quality just from that right there. But there's one other thing that we do for our sleep, and we'll actually go show y'all in the other room. All right, so this is the thermostat right here. Right now it's set to about 70 degrees because currently it's during the day, we're working and stuff like that. But this bad boy right here comes all the way down to 65 cooling for at night. And for me personally, I've slept at a lot of different temperatures, but 65 to 67, I found is the sweet spot right there. More specifically 65 for me. That's been the good one right there. I know some people with a little less, like lower body fat percentage, closer to 67 works a little bit better, just depending on your body size and everything like that. Colder rooms will allow you to go into that deeper sleep versus warmer rooms. And that's also made a huge difference on my recovery score on a day-to-day basis. Now that we, have woken up, already by taking the proper precautions of like when you're sleeping and stuff like that, just to maximize your recovery and everything. Then we actually come into the office here. It's where I spend a lot of my day and stuff, getting work done and everything like that. There's three key things in here that we've done to just improve the efficiency on a day-to-day basis. Starting off first, I do have my scale back here. This is where I actually weigh myself every morning. That's just because I like to log everything on MyFitnessPal, and we'll cut to a clip here in a second, kind of going back and me like actually waking up with y'all at 4:30 in the morning going through that. It's currently 4:57 in the morning, and I just got my weights in. Today we're currently weighing at 175.4, which is awesome because we're steadily going down compared to our starting weight a couple of days ago, which was like 177, 178, which in the beginning you always drop a lot more really fast because you start eating clean, and then you start to kind of like taper to where it's a lot slower. I use MyFitnessPal pretty much to track all of this. So let's go to, I think just dashboard right here and weight. And we can see right here, yeah, January 5th, 176.2. We kind of slowly trending down, kind of hit the same weight 2 days in a row, and that's okay. Also going into our root band, we had, let's say, just for last night, we had a 54% recovery, which is not too bad. Obviously not ideal. Did have a very hard training day yesterday. 6 hours of sleep, which probably is also one of the other reasons why it's a little bit lower. And then health-wise, I also like to look at my blood pressure. That's also another thing I've been tracking a lot lately, just because, like I said, it's been a little high. So I'm trying to get that back down. Now, I also usually like to sip on like pre-workout at this time, but because today we're going to do our blood work, then today I'm just sipping on my element right here. It's the only thing I can drink before my blood work, and I don't really have any issues with it affecting my blood work or anything like that. And I think I'm just scarred from life because like 3 or 4 blood works ago, I just had water before, and they couldn't find my vein at all, and they stabbed me 9 times before finally finding the vein. So since then, I'm just like, okay, I'm drinking a little bit of salt water, and I'm not really doing this for like any doctor surgery or anything like that. So as long as it doesn't affect my glucose or doesn't affect my testosterone, I'm perfectly fine. And yeah, works fine for me. Last little pro tip. Put your scale in the area that you know for a fact that you'll be at in the mornings, so that way you don't forget to weigh yourself. Because I know for me, I wake up, come straight down here, and a lot of times I'll forget to, in the upstairs, to weigh myself, so I can't actually stay consistent with my tracking. But keeping that down here has been really good. Just pulled up to my blood work. Appointments for 9, but got here at 8:50, and there's no one here. So let's go hurry up and go inside before everyone else gets here, and hopefully we can get in and out really quick. Oh, we got it done. It's always like great when you find a really good blood place, because like all my life, the few times I've had to give blood for just like medical stuff, like I remember one time I had like ammonia and almost passed the fuck out trying to give blood and stuff. It's always good when you find a blood place that's literally walk in and walk out. Like I literally pull up to the front door, I walk in one room, they grab it, and I walk out. And I got here 10 minutes ago. So 10 minutes, we're in and out. And honestly, that was because we were chatting a little bit about like my blood tests and stuff, because honestly, they were surprised that I intentionally bought this for myself versus the fact that a doctor or something like that prescribed it for me. So we'll break this down in a second here of like all the stuff I ordered and all that. But yeah, got the sample done. But that's why I always like to weigh myself in the morning, just because I just find I'm more consistent since I'm always coming to the office first versus like, going to my bathroom and stuff. Second thing here is that we got the desk, we got the chair, and then we got the monitor. Now, a couple things here. First off, this is an ergonomic chair and stuff to where it kind of keeps me more in like a proper position, just to like try to keep my back as straight as possible so that way I'm not like walking around with some like crooked, hunched ass back right there. It's also going to alleviate a lot of like neck pain and stuff like that you're going to get, so that way you can actually work for longer without like having to like, pretty much get tired and quit and stuff. The second thing here is that we have an adjustable desk, so that way we can actually set the proper height and stuff that actually like makes it comfortable for us to work to the desk. If you're going to spend a couple minutes, maybe even 30 minutes at like a random desk, cool, no problem at all. Like we can suck it up. But when you're spending 8 hours a day for weeks and years working somewhere, like you want to make sure it's more customized to your specific body type, so that way it's comfortable and you can make it comfortable to where you can work for long hours at it. Then the last thing here is that the monitor is actually put in a position to where it allows my neck to stay neutral. So once you get yourself set up at your desk, you get set up in the chair, you get the desk set up how you want and everything like that. Then what you want to do here is you actually want to have the monitor roughly in a position where your eyes can be neutral, and it's almost like in the middle of the screen right here. So then you adjust your monitor to your head versus adjusting your head to the monitor. That's also another mistake I see a lot of people make right there. That way you can be in a comfortable position, the correct seating type and everything like that. Then you adjust the monitor to it, and now you're set. You're officially locked the fuck in this situation right here. So now that you're actually productive and all day, you got your good sleep, come in, you got the proper setup to where you can be like dialed the fuck in and like you can get some work done and stuff. Now we need to talk about fuel for your body. I've tried a lot of different diets. I've tried a lot of different, just various different things over the years. And for me personally, I'm a big fan of just counting your calories. It's the easiest thing. That's not technically a diet. It's just more like, okay, cool. I'm burning 2,000 calories a day. I'm going to intake 2,000 calories a day if I want to maintain my current body weight. Now, let's say, for example, I want to increase weight. I might add a little bit more calories to my day-to-day. And if maybe I want to decrease weight, which I'm currently going through right now, I'm subtracting a little bit of calories per day to where I'm in a deficit. Now, I really want to talk about fuel here for a second because, like I said, I've gone through a lot of different diets, fads, trends, etc. I've tried various different meal prep services. I've tried different, there's meal prep services, and then there's services where, like, they ship you pre-cooked food, and then there's even services like HelloFresh that send you food to where you cook yourself. I've even tried just literally ordering from DoorDash all day, where like I would just find the healthiest options on DoorDash and then order everything throughout the day. Just recently, I'm back on the meal prep gang, and I'm really just more focusing on, okay, 80, 60, 70% of the food that I'm eating on a day-to-day basis is going to be more food that can just be like, comes natural from the earth. Not like it's trying to be like any hippie bullshit or anything like that. Like I'm still eating a lot of meat and stuff, but like I'm sticking to just more whole foods and stuff like that. So lately we started meal prepping our food again. Got some chicken and sweet potato right here. Weighed out chicken and sweet potato. And then here, this is just rice with shrimp and steak. And then just a little bit of soy sauce on it to make it more like a fried rice right here. Usually I'll start the day with a Chick-fil-A breakfast burrito, and that's probably the only thing that I refuse to cut out of my diet just because I train really hard in the morning, and the fats and all the unhealthy stuff in that Chick-fil-A breakfast burrito actually helps me out a lot with actually functioning for work over the next couple hours versus me eating like something super clean. And then the rest of the day will be super clean in terms of like these types of meals and stuff. We'll toss in some of the Core Power protein shakes right here. These are my favorite. Usually do one of these a day. And then I'm a huge sweets guy. I love sweets. So I recently just got back on this Quest gang right here. And I got to say, as someone who used to do a lot of Quest bars back in like 2017, 2018, they completely changed their formula and they taste phenomenal. Now, as far as like outside of that, when we dig into more like caffeine, for example, I do a lot of C4s on a day-to-day basis. And my favorite pre-workout right now is PR Breaker. I've been taking PR Breaker now for about 3 years, and I have yet to get adjusted to it Or, like some people, it used to be a big thing where it's like if you get too used to your pre-workout, you need to take some time off from it, or like you need to swap pre-workouts and stuff. I love PR Breaker. I do one scoop. Serving size is 2 scoops. I just do one scoop in the morning, and then I'll do a C4 after my workout and stuff. And when it comes down to like supplementation with caffeine, I just have a hard rule of no caffeine 8 hours before bed. I typically go to bed about 9 to 10 o'clock every night, so I'm typically cutting what I would say caffeine off around roughly 1 o'clock every day in the afternoon. So I can have as much caffeine as I want, but at 1 o'clock, hard cut off on no more caffeine. Now, some other stuff I recently started adding into my diet over the years is the Element. It's just a salt supplementation, gets you some electrolytes and stuff like that. I've been taking these for about 2 years now and absolutely love these. Keep in mind here, I'm weightlifting 3 times a week, I'm boxing twice a week, and I'm running 3 times a week. So I'm sweating a lot. So adding in those extra electrolytes have helped out a lot with just performance and stuff in the gym. I usually put, like my first full bottle of water every day is going to be with the pre-workout. And then my second full bottle of water every day is going to be with the salt packet and stuff. And then speaking of water, I'm a huge component of Fijis right here. These are 33 ounces or 30 ounces per Fiji. So I'll typically do 3 of these per day. And then like 3 or 4 sparkling waters a day, to where we typically average roughly about 110, 128 ounces of water every day, which comes out to roughly a gallon of water every single day, which is another huge component of operating more efficiently every day, because now you're actually like hydrated and stuff. When you're dehydrated, typically have less focus, more headaches and stuff throughout the day, and you perform less in the gym and everything like that. Now that we're talking a little bit more about performance, I really want to talk about the other things that we do for more of the performance aspect when it comes down to blood work and some of the tools we use to also track our day-to-day. So now that you know the whole sleep schedule, you know what to do to get better sleep and everything at night, you know how to optimize your work setup, you know how to optimize your fuel and everything, I want to talk about just like the other things that I also do to gain that extra edge right here. So first things first, we'll start off with schedule. I'm a huge proponent for just like scheduling out your week. And then also on top of that, scheduling out when you're going to bed and when you're going to wake up every day. One of the best ways to also dial in your sleep is just consistently do things at the same time every day. Your body typically takes about 3 days to adjust to a new routine. So if every day you're doing a different routine, your body will never fully adjust to it. And if it never adjusts to it, it's going to put a lot more stress on it. So that's why I like to wake up consistently at the same time every day, and I like to consistently go to bed at the same time every day. So that way when it is time to wake up, then it's easy for me to do so. That's why a lot of people feel hungover every Monday, because they stay out to 2, 3 a.m. on Friday night and Saturday night partying and drinking on the weekend. And then Monday comes around and they have to get up at 6 a.m. when the past 2 days they slept till lunchtime. So big difference there, just to help dial in, and make it less hard for you to wake up early and start getting work done and stuff. Again, I can care less what time you personally get up at. I think getting up at 4:30 or 4 a.m. is a complete myth. You do not need to get up early at all to be successful. Personally, I like to get up at 4:30 a.m. because I have a lot of shit to do on a day-to-day basis. I have clients, I have students, I got personal work I need to get done. I got to film these videos. I also have an amazing relationship with my girlfriend and stuff. And then I want to have family time at the end of the day as well. So with just so much shit I have to do on a day-to-day basis, waking up at 4 a.m. every day makes sense for me. There was a period of time where I used to sleep in to 11 a.m. every day. And then at 11 a.m. I would wake up, and then I would work till 3, 4 a.m. every day. And that was my routine. And I was able to get just as much done and just be as successful back then as I am now. So it doesn't matter what time you're getting up at, as long as you're staying consistent with it. That's the key thing there. So now that you know the schedule, let's talk a little bit more about these other performance things I use on a day-to-day basis. So one thing I do every quarter is I get my blood work done. I used to be just absolutely retarded and would buy tons of different supplements from GNC and stuff, and just random bullshit basically, to try to like gain an edge, quote unquote, in the gym and stuff like that. And to be honest, half the stuff I didn't even need, or maybe 80% of the stuff I didn't even need. I take about 5 to 6 different supplements currently. I'm not even going to show y'all them on this video. I don't want y'all to know them, because what's going to essentially happen is y'all think y'all can just go buy those supplements and then start taking them. And then what'll ultimately happen there is like, oh, well, I'm taking them because Nick's taking them. My supplements I take on a day-to-day basis are purely customized to my blood work. So I'm not going to give you all the supplements if you don't even know if you need those supplements based off your blood work. So getting your blood work tested every quarter is super important for me. You can go to altalabstest.com, and you can literally, it's like an e-commerce website for blood tests where you can actually customize your blood test, and then get the blood test done. They'll find a local area or local clinic in your area to actually go do the blood draw. And then the cool thing is that they put all the results in one centralized place for every test, so you can see over time how those different like things go through and stuff like that. Important things for me as a man, I want to look at like my testosterone and stuff like that. I'm sure for like a female, for example, if you're watching this video, there's some like estrogen and things like that you can go through for more of a female productive hormone thing right there. Heart health is super important for me. Specifically as men, that's one of the most like number one leading causes of death is like heart disease. So I'm looking at cholesterol, I'm looking at glucose, insulin, blood sugar and stuff, everything to do with the blood and the heart is really important right there. And that's like the main, like what I would say 2 big things that I'm looking for. You can do like some other stuff if you want in terms of like electrolytes, vitamins and minerals and stuff. But for me specifically, it's blood health, heart health, glucose, insulin, and your hormones, whether you're a man or a woman. Then the cool thing is when you get that blood test back is you can literally see all the different levels and where you stack up if you're high or low, and depending on if that needs to be high or low. And then you can just simply go buy the vitamins or the supplements you need to actually go ahead and like fix those specific things right there. So when you get your blood in check and your blood results in check and taking supplements specifically to your body's needs, you can actually operate at a much higher level, because right now the current reality you have is based off how your blood is right now, essentially. So you may be underperforming. You may also be in perfectly good shape. You won't know until you get those blood tests done. So blood tests every quarter, super important. Schedule blood tests. And then the last 2 other things I really like to talk about is a Whoop band. So this is this little Whoop band thing I have right here on my wrist. I've been actually using this now I used it a couple of years ago for like, 3 or 4 months, stopped using it. And then about a year ago, I actually just started using it again. And what's really cool about the Whoop band is at first it was just a bunch of meaningless data to me. But now it allows me to like further go ahead and optimize my day-to-day and understand, okay, here's how many calories I burned. Here's my sleep quality last night. What was something I did differently last night versus other nights? It allows me to consistently keep focusing on those numbers and dialing them in. And as I dial them in, it allows me to go ahead and obviously feel better, but it allows me to understand what's the factors that take place for those specific things. So Whoop band, really phenomenal. And then the last thing is MyFitnessPal. I use MyFitnessPal on a day-to-day basis to essentially go ahead and track everything I intake in terms of food, so I can see like the set of calories that I needed for the day, whether it's like carbs, proteins, or fats, and I can hit those specific goals. And again, as I hit those goals, I just feel a lot better because I'm getting more consistent intake of food and the quality of food I'm intaking on a day-to-day basis. And then I would say purely just the last thing that I didn't discuss today that was like a big impact for me, or second to last thing was a big impact for me, was actually not eating 3 hours before bed. That had a huge impact on me for recovery. Some nights in a week I just have to eat an hour before bed because we just finished the day late. But as much as the week I can, I try to eat 3 hours before bed, so that way I'm not like digesting food and stuff. I'm trying to sleep. But the last thing, very last thing here is hiring people to hold you accountable. I got a person that I do weightlifting 3 times a week with. I got a boxing coach that I work with twice a week. And then what's cool about these people is that it's not just a gym membership. Like I pay these people every session I do with them. And it's not necessarily like I'm paying them because I'm trying to get like huge and jacked and like, crazy like that. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong. Like I'm always working towards a specific physique goal, but these people hold me accountable to like showing up every day. These are the people that like, oh fuck, I gotta pay that person, so like I better show up. Or the people that's gonna text me when I don't show up to the gym at the set time that I'm gonna go to the gym and everything. So these also help a lot right there, and it also allows me just to show up and not think about it. I don't need to figure out what sets and reps and what exercises I want to do today. I just have that person there that's just taking me through the workout, and that's also been a huge help for me over the years. For the most part, I'm working out 5 to 6 days of the week. I also do 3 days of running on top of that. So typically Monday night, Wednesday night, and Friday night. Monday night, I'll do about 3 miles, more like a shorter run, but a fast run. Wednesdays, I'll do sprints. And then Friday or Saturday, we'll do a long run with me and my girlfriend, where we'll do like 5 to 6 miles in that sense. And it's just a long, slow run right there to get some cardio in and stuff like that. As far as other things, trending, saunas are cool. I'll do a sauna here and there. I haven't done a cold plunge in a while. It'd be cool, but I just don't have one right now, so probably eventually order one. And then blue light blocking glasses, also major key. I completely forgot to talk about that when we were in the office and stuff earlier. Blue light blocking glasses are also phenomenal right there. Helps out block out headaches and stuff and less eye strain throughout the day. So, but yeah, this is my 7-figure biohacking routine. Hopefully y'all learned a couple things about it. If you have any questions about it, drop them below. Happy to get to you guys. Make sure y'all like this video for new vlogs every Thursday at 10 a.m. Central Time. And I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.